Every year, the state legislature passes and the governor signs hundreds of bills into law. In addition, we have court cases rendering new case law, regulatory bodies imposing new mandates. All of this can be a bear to understand and to know how it affects you as a special district serving your community. That's why CSDA, on behalf of California's 2,000 special districts, has reached out to some of the top experts in the field. And whether it's public works or revenue or HR, we've brought them together to analyze and assess those top, most important laws that will be impacting our special districts starting January 1, 2025. For example, coming right up, we've got an interview with Sarah Mayers of NBS Consulting, who's going to share about development-related fees and how those changes in law might impact your bottom line.
So Sarah, development-related fees has become a really hot topic in Sacramento, largely because of the need for housing. Of course, development-related fees help fund the infrastructure that supports housing in growing communities. Can you tell us a little bit more about what is a development-related fee?
Development-related fees include fees and charges such as impact fees, connection and capacity charges, any of those charges and exactions that fund infrastructure that support growth in the community.
And so what type of services are we talking about?
That can be anything from utility capacity charges to fees for roads, fees for public safety. Runs the gamut, any infrastructure that the community would need additionally as a result of new development.
Now, there have been a number of bills introduced in the state legislature over the last several years targeting these development-related fees. This year in particular, a couple of them got out and got signed by the governor. I know they're covered in the article. Can you tell us just a little bit about what this legislation is going to do when it takes effect January 1?
Yeah, SB 937 delays the timing of collection for development-related fees. So when fees were typically collected at building permit issuance, now they're collected at certificate of occupancy. There are some exceptions to that in terms of construction timing. There are cases where if the construction hasn't begun after the building permit has been issued and a 5-year period has elapsed, that there's an opportunity to collect those fees. Also for utility service connections, the fee can be collected at the time of application for service. However, it's not clear if this bill applies to utility capacity charges.
I see. Sounds like something we need to read more about in that article in the New Laws series. Thank you for being an author in our annual New Laws series. And before we go, can I just ask you, with this new legislation coming into effect, do you have any tips or guidance or takeaways? What should a special district official be doing knowing that this is coming at them next year?
So special districts, of course, are not land use agencies. And the entity that's collecting most of these fees are your land use agencies within your jurisdiction. So what that means is you're going to have to spend more time coordinating with your land use agency so that you are really clear about when those fees are being collected and coordinating with them for the implementation. Those agencies will have specific challenges related to actually collecting the fees. The implementation is going to be much more difficult now because of the timing of the collection. The other piece is that you may find that you are providing service to new development prior to receiving the funds that is meant to provide capacity in your systems for that, to serve that new development. So that becomes tricky. And then the last piece is that the amount of the fee stays the same. You're not able to collect more, charge interest, anything else. So the funds that you would have collected at building permit issuance and are now collecting later at certificate of occupancy, the development moves quickly, probably not a big deal. If you have any delays in your development, you're 5 years later potentially that you're collecting what you would have collected at building permit 5 years ago. So that'll be a challenge as well in terms of how much you're collecting.
So get on the phone with your land use planning agency, get on the phone with your city, your county, and start coordinating now so that you can be prepared.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sarah, with NBS. We really appreciate you and your insights and look forward to reading more about it in the New Laws series at csda.net and in your CSDA e-news. Thank you.
Thank you.